You would be a normal guy making $100K a year.
Like a school teacher like I was for 11 years.
Exactly.
Right.
Staying a school teacher. Would you take that deal?
To live 10 more years longer?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
I think everyone should experience living 10 years longer than last time.
More testosterone than last time.
Coach Greg, and I'm here with Dura from Montreal. He lives in Canada, and we're going to be going over a heated discussion today about steroids. And so, hear me out. He thinks that everyone, and by everyone I mean men, all of them should use steroids, that it's awesome. Everyone should experience it. So it sounds like Togi. And I'm going to tell you...
It's not Togi.
79! Togi.
Yeah, I know, but it's a little different.
Okay, he's going to explain why it's different than what Togi thinks. I think it's the same thing. And so I'm going to be obviously thinking that this guy's a moron.
Stop being a moron!
We're going to see how it goes.
We'll see how it goes.
Maybe he'll convince me. Maybe we're all going to be on test by the end of the episode.
We'll see. They're all hypocrites. That's the thing. But,
all right, so you tell us why we should be on steroids.
Okay, so here's the thing. This is what I noticed. All successful influencers.
Okay.
All, yeah. You, me, people, other influencers.
Will Tennyson, Jesse James, Jeff Nippard.
And most bodybuilders too, like pro bodybuilders. We've made most of our success with the help of testosterone use or steroid use.
Okay, I have. You have.
Yeah, but there are a shit ton of other influencers. But here's the thing.
I agree with that. There are a lot, but not all.
But all of the ones who have are always telling other people not to do steroids.
I definitely am that.
Yeah, you're that guy. Exactly.
Sure. I'm that guy. I agree with you.
And it's kind of like Grant Cardone, the real estate guy who owns a bunch of real estate, like thousands of apartments, but is telling people not to buy real estate and to rent.
So basically,
it's exactly the same thing.
It's hypocritical for somebody like me to say, don't use steroids when I actually did.
And still doing it, even though it's HRT or whatever, but you're still on it.
And so that's another debate, I think. We could probably talk about that. Is HRT using steroids? Is it not? What are the limits for the doses? But yeah, I definitely see that.
It still falls under the category of using testosterone.
Yeah, so technically I am on steroids. I'm on testosterone.
But you tell people not to do it.
And absolutely, I tell people not to do it. However, I do tell people if they need HRT prescribed by a doctor that they should do it because that's what the doctor's telling them to do.
I think everyone in the fitness world is just being politically correct. Yeah. And they're kind of giving the people what they want to hear. So people are like, oh yeah, he's a good influencer. But really, when you think about it, if someone were to come and tell you, would you do it again?
Right now, the answer is no. But
I don't believe you.
You don't believe me?
No.
Okay, until the last couple of years, 100% it was with you. I was like, if you asked me 5 years ago, do I have any regrets? I would have said, there is no regrets. I'm winning shows. I feel good. I look amazing. So why would I regret it? But it's not until I got older. Like, now I'm 49. I'm pushing 50 keys of Turk across the border.
Okay.
That's what I do every morning. You see my morning. And so now I want to live longer. I want to live to be like 90. And so I'm in my mind, I'm like, what if those 10 years plus, like 10, 11 years, whatever, that I abuse steroids takes 10 years off of my life? It's just not worth it. Like, as famous as I am and as much money as I have and all this stuff, is it really worth taking 10 or 20 years off of my life?
Let me ask you something.
Yes.
If someone were to tell you, if you haven't used steroids, you would have a normal life.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be living he lives in a hotel.
Mansion.
It's not a mansion, it's a hotel. Okay.
It feels like that. Yeah.
And you wouldn't have all these cars, you don't have a chef cooking you, just a normal guy. You would be a normal guy making $100K a year.
Like a school teacher like I was for 11 years.
Exactly.
Right.
Staying a school teacher. Would you take that deal?
To live 10 more years longer?
Yes.
Yes.
No. No way.
So here's the thing.
No.
Picture this. You're 80, right?
Yeah.
You got grandkids, the whole
I'm
thing.
done.
You're 80.
You're 80 years old. You're done. You're done with life. You've done everything. Why would you even want to live longer?
When my grandmother was 94, I said, you lived a good life. You must be ready to go.
What was your grandmother doing at 94? Other than the same shit every day.
Walking around, cooking, baking, sewing, doing her thing. But I said, you've had a good life. You've lived. Like, you must be, ready to go. It's fine. She's like, Greg, I feel 19 inside my head. When I look and talk, I'm 19. Now, I don't look 19, but she's like, that's how I feel. And she's like, I want to live just as much as you do. At 49, I want to live just as long now as when I was 19. I don't feel different. And so if I said, like, okay, let's say this. I'm going to die tomorrow. And if I hadn't used steroids, I'd live to be 59. I'm not ready to go.
No, that's
so at 89, I think I'll feel the same way.
I don't think. First of all, I don't think steroids, especially if used correctly, will do that.
I didn't use them correctly. I was at 700 trend for a bit.
But that's not what I'm saying. I'm not telling people to do the cycles that we did for competition. So I'm saying test is amazing.
Oh my God! I don't disagree with you, but what dose of test do you think is safe? Like, say somebody's contemplating, they're watching this show, and they're like, I want to use test. What dose could they use that you think is safe?
I had that on Niall's podcast.
Yeah.
I'm from Egypt, and we have what we call the dad cycle. Basically, all my friends are on it, even those who are not bodybuilders.
And people don't know, right? They don't tell.
No, they don't tell. But like, they're still jacked, decently jacked. But like, I got people working in politics. I got people as engineers. They go to the gym 4 times a week, and we have a dad cycle, and it's 500 milligrams of testosterone a week, maybe some Anavar, and maybe 5 units of growth hormone a day.
If I took that right now,
that's the dad cycle.
So that dad cycle is a big cycle, really. It's not a beginner cycle. It's like a big cycle.
500 tests.
What do you think RFK, Jeff Bezos are on? Do you think they're on like low dose HRT, or do you think they're on higher?
They're not on base HR. Have you seen RFK?
I know.
For his age?
Do you know Dave Palumbo?
Yeah.
He watched my video and he's like, Greg is full of shit. He thinks he's on higher doses than just low dose HRT. I'm like, he's on that, probably IGF-1, probably GH, probably every peptide you can get.
Who is on that?
That RFK.
But yeah, I think so too.
And Palumbo was like, Greg's an idiot. There's a video.
So you think Palumbo's so you think RFK is just on TRT?
On way more than just TRT.
High dose and Dave disagrees with you.
Yes.
Okay,
you should see the comments.
I love
Greg's
Dave.
An idiot. It's like, no.
I love Dave, but I'm gonna have to side with Greg on this one. I think RFK.
Sorry, Dave.
I think RFK is on a dad cycle.
Probably close to that.
Close to dad cycle, but I think everyone should be on a dad cycle.
Okay, so this is why I compared you to Togi, because Togi, he says steroids the best drug ever made. This is the best thing, and all men should try it.
Okay, yeah, I agree with that.
This is a problem. This is a massive problem.
But what if they already are making, say, they're really crazy. They already have 900 or 1,000 nanograms per deciliter and they're 20.
First of all, studies have shown that most men have less testosterone, have 50% less testosterone than what our fathers and grandfathers had.
Yeah, I've seen those.
You've seen those?
Yeah.
So I don't think, like, how many people would have those kind of numbers? 900 to 1,000.
Now?
Yeah.
Oh, 5% maybe of people?
I would argue even less.
Yeah, low percent.
Yeah. So I don't think we should count those. The average male right now has less testosterone than most males 30 years ago.
Yeah, I also think.
And you know what? I think lower testosterone
and stuff, like, I think it comes from maybe even plastics and bullshit, the chemicals that are in today's foods.
And I would argue having lower testosterone than 30 years ago, like the rates of testosterone that we have now, has more of a health effect, a negative health effect, than being on a little more than being on a little more using HRT.
What I'm hearing is that you're okay with HRT to put you at, let's call it optimal test range, like maybe 1,000 or so.
A little over than that.
But not the dad cycle. Like 500 tests is going to put my test levels past 2,000 for sure.
The dad cycle, I think, is something everyone has to experience. Because, like, you feel just like fucking, you know.
Yeah. So I felt it. And the problem is, how do you go back to feeling like me now? Because once you felt like, I call it, you feel like Superman. How do you go back to feeling like a normal guy?
But this is with everything in life. Anything that is awesome will have to remove something else. So it really depends on how do you want to live. So it's like race car drivers. They're risking every day that they could crash and they could die, just like that. In MotoGP in Isle of Man, okay, it's a race that they do once a year. Every time, 2 men die. Every year. Actually, this was the first year that no one died. First time in like 50 years.
And so if I'm a parent of a child and they say, I want to enter that car race, I'm saying, no.
Exactly.
Because, like, I don't want them to do that.
But if you were,
if they win, they but
if we compare, you are an Isle of Man motorcycle racer.
Steroids are equivalent to this racer. It's like you're taking a risk, but it's so exciting, and so you want to do it. But, like, what about the death? I think while you're in it, you don't regret it. But when you get older, because you're in it, you're dieting for a show. So while you're on test, you can't envision not being on it. So it takes time away from it to really contemplate what you're doing.
But here's the problem, is that you can't imagine your life as a teacher again.
I could, because I lived that life. And I was happy when I was a school teacher. You don't believe me. I'm not, even though I drive like fancy car and stuff, I never needed that. I was never like a monetary kind of guy. Like I didn't need this stuff.
Okay.
I didn't need the house, the car, whatever.
Greg likes to party.
Sure.
And he would not go back to school teacher life.
I don't know, it's summers off. I work way more now than when I was a school teacher.
Yeah, but now you're enjoying all that money.
Oh, I can do way more. But I don't think you need to be, like, say, rich to be happy. I don't think you need that.
There's recent studies that, so before it was like 70,000 a year and everyone's happiness is the same.
I think up to $1 million or so. The newest research says you peak around $1 million or so.
Now,
like, I don't think I'd be more happy making 100 million than now. Like, I don't think it'd be any different. Billion, I don't think adding zeros would make any difference.
You're talking as if like everyone makes $1 million.
No, of course not. There probably averages like, say, 50,000 or something.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think you're more happy.
You would not trade your life to making $50,000.
To live 10 years longer, yes, because
$50,000?
Man, like once you're older,
you're not going to experience all this. You're not going to experience your vacations. You're not going to experience.
I don't even buy first class tickets now, even though I can afford it. I just think it's a waste of money.
Really?
Yes, I don't care. It's like it doesn't mean anything to me.
So if you're taking a 12-hour flight, you're flying economy?
Sure, normal.
I'd have to see those tickets.
Why would I lie about the tickets I bought? If anything, I'm trying to brag. I'm a baller. I ride a private jet.
No, I think you're now. It's like it's cool to be like super humble and like, oh, I don't spend any money.
Super humble. I say exactly what I have. People know the cars I drive. They know what it is.
Exactly. You drive a McLaren.
I literally would get an Uber. They're not
coinciding next to each other.
I usually get an Uber so that I can work on my phone rather than driving because I feel like I'm wasting the 30 minutes of driving where I could be working on my phone. Literally. So I get downtown, I get an Uber.
Okay, well, maybe you're an exception. He's the first millionaire that I know ever who flies economy.
There you have it.
Yeah.
My mindset is like, I don't need the money. I could retire today and never work again and have more than enough to be happy. So I work because it's
but you wouldn't have that without.
But when I was a
steroids.
school teacher, not traveling, not going on vacation, I still was happy. I was always like a happy person. I think everyone should experience living 10 years longer than last time.
More testosterone than last time.
I don't think you're old enough. Like you're 39, is it?
39, yeah.
39 and 49. I thought exactly like you at 39. But now I'm 49, so you are not me yet. I can travel back and be Dura and competing, but you can't go into the future and be like, wait, I want to live long.
There are exceptions, and there are reasons why you should and should not do it. One of the reasons I think you shouldn't do it is if your body simply rejects it. I think there's a genetic factor where your body accepts testosterone and steroid use. Like some people,
blood work, and it shows like, holy shit, your HDL's in the toilet. You're just like, you're unhealthy on even.
And then
like,
you get all kinds of acne and gyno, and you turn red from high blood pressure, and all kinds of shit happens. If you're one of these people who converts a lot to estrogen, if you're one of these people, your body's telling you steroids are not for me. They're not for you. Hard luck. Too bad. That's life, right?
Yeah, that's a great point.
But there are some people. I don't have, knock on wood. I don't have blood pressure. I don't have any of these issues. My skin's fine. And there are a lot of other people, like most pro bodybuilders, including you, probably have a good time or your body reacts well to steroid use.
Sure.
It doesn't go haywire.
I was good genetically, that my blood work wasn't horrible.
Exactly.
I was on like really high doses. Like
exactly. If you fall under that category, that's a pro why you should use. And if your body doesn't react well to it, then you probably shouldn't use. Now, another reason you should use is that I think that, let's say, if I wasn't using testosterone, okay, I have a sweet tooth. And
I do. You've seen my cookbook.
Yeah.
Look at the food. Yeah.
But you still eat somewhat healthy.
Healthy, but low sugar stuff.
I like
sweeteners.
I like McDonald's.
Sure,
fries.
I love that stuff. I just don't eat it anymore.
You don't eat it?
Yeah.
Now, the reason why I don't eat it is because I know I'm taking testosterone. So in my head, I'm like, okay, I'm taking testosterone, so I have to make up for it in other aspects of my life.
Oh, yeah.
So I do my cardio every single day.
Correct.
I eat well. I only have one cheat meal a week. Sometimes I have a little snacks. But let's say if I wasn't on testosterone, I wouldn't have that subconscious thought of, oh, I'm doing something bad that I have to make up for it. That I would probably let myself go. Right. I'd probably eat a lot more junk food. I probably wouldn't do my cardio because I'm like, oh, I'm going to the gym. That's fine enough. Right. And I could actually probably be unhealthier.
Now that's a great point. Now, see, if you're doing steroids and it's replacing other bad shit like drinking alcohol, that's a class
I don't
one
drink, don't smoke, I don't do any of that
so
stuff.
anyone that's criticizing like me and you using steroids, if they drink alcohol or they smoke cigarettes, like who the heck are you to criticize us?
Exactly.
When you're doing something way worse.
Exactly.
Like, you know, as much as I'm against using steroids for people, it's very low on the list of drugs. Like if you said what's better, sniffing creatine or doing steroids, I'm like, do the steroids. Sniffing creatine is horrible. So there's all these horrible things like drinking alcohol is way worse. More accidents, more deaths.
But this is the debate on the average person. I'm saying the average person should go on testosterone. Because when you take the average person, have you seen what they look like?
Not good.
One in three are going to be actually 1 in 2 in like a few years are going to be diabetic.
And half
1 in 2
are obese as is.
Half are obese. They're all unhealthy. They're all lazy. They don't do shit. I think when you weigh, like, would you be on testosterone, live a healthy lifestyle, eat clean, do your cardio every day, not be on testosterone, probably drink every weekend, fat, eat all kinds of junk food, and don't do exercise whatsoever, which is healthier.
Yeah.